So, David, you mentioned triangulation. What experience did you have?
So I can share on two levels. I don't know who out there have children. I've got three young children, 14, 12, and 10. And I'll notice it mainly if one of our beautiful children wants something and Papa says no, and they go to Mama and they ask Mama to get it, hoping that that will work. So they try to pin one against the other to get their desired wish outcome or whatever they're trying to get out of us. Now, in the family context, it could be as little as we're at a family meeting. Look, I'm making this up, but my sister does something I don't agree, and I've got twin sisters. That's why I said that, so none of them can know who I'm down. So sister one could say whatever, and then I go to my brother or mother after. I say, can't believe they said that. That's it's frustrating. I got to solve that, and then it makes no sense. And then that person gets involved, and it just creates a big mess of people talking behind other people's back, try to win politically an argument, influence something without addressing it head on. And then you just create misconceptions, frustrations, and then you go at night, you meet with your spouse, and you say, I can't believe this happened. And something that could have been solved in 3 seconds from asking a question, going head on to get clarity, could take months or years to build something that was never anything of any importance.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say more. You've got it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's definitely triangulation, where you're working the power of putting two against one. Okay. And typically unbeknownst to that one. Okay. Correct. So the hidden agendas, the secretiveness, the power orientations that happen. Okay. That's the triangulation, which happens. The less people talk about the relationships, the less upfront it is, the less you have of clear intent and integrity, the more triangulation you're going to have.
Yeah.
Okay, period. And so in families, of course, where you get all of these nuances, where you have the very typical and classic triangulation of parents against child and child using parents against each other, for example. Okay. Our child using parent against siblings to win, or even older sibling being caught between two younger siblings, and so on and so forth. On it goes. All right, where it happens so fast, you're not even aware of it until you look back at it and think, oh, that was a triangulation. How do we fix that triangulation? How do we get out of triangulating each other? It takes enough, because triangulation can also be unbelievably powerful. Okay, but there you need to take a look. We started the whole conversation with trust. You need to take a look at the level of trust building that's going on, openness that's going on, connectivity that's going on within the triangulation, in order for them to turn that negative triangle into, or what we would call a survival triangle, into an empowering triangle. And in between there is what I call the transformational triangle. Okay, and that's the process of going from survival triangle, which we all live about 95% of our lives on, into the empowering triangle, where if we're lucky, we can spend as much time as we can on that. But if you do the math, that's probably about 5% of our life.
So. And we did talk about communication. It took me some time going through IPO. My communication style is I need to externally express my thoughts. So I will have opinion A, but I need to talk through it to change to opinion B. And the triangulation that I was creating was I needed to talk to somebody, but not everybody's able or capable of understanding. All David is saying is trying to make sense of this messy conversation, whatnot, versus using what David just said to go talk to somebody else. So once I recognize that, I would use other people, maybe my spouse, thank you, Danielle, to try to make sense of it, so I could put it together to come back and say, okay, I've unpacked this. This makes sense. So as people are going through triangulation, the reason I'm saying this, you may not even be aware you're creating triangulation, because you're just trying to make sense of a comment or a discussion or whatever that is.
Correct. A typical extrovert needing to talk out loud in order to think, and then understanding that the more objective and neutral and confidential the confidant is that you're doing that with, the easier it is for you to not get caught in another triangulation, just because you are doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Well,
very true. So it happens, especially in families, it happens quite naturally, just as you said, just as you explained in that example. It's a perfect example. And which starts leading us into the invisible loyalties, as they call it, within the family, within the family relationships. And all of a sudden, somebody's feeling left outside because you always talk to somebody that listens to you extremely well. Okay.
yeah.
And another person doesn't get your voice. And you
Yeah.
don't even know that because you're not doing it to share, you're doing it to think.
So with that announcement to all extroverts listening to this, just know you may be doing that on purpose or it may not be. But Ken, I think it's time to say thank you. I am very fortunate to have been connected with you to have this discussion. At some point, I wish to spend a few hours face to face over breaking bread and sharing stories. But thank you so much for your time. Do you have any comments you'd like to share with me and maybe people that will see this?
Oh gosh. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to share with you and have an exchange and a very interesting conversation. I mean, family business makeup. I'm a strong believer in family business. I'm a strong believer in small entrepreneurship, which family businesses typically always start from. And it's a strength for our societies. And it's something that I would always want to see people do their best to allow for family businesses to flourish. So if you're looking at getting into it, yes, there can be lots of struggles, stress, and strains. Quite frankly, I think just because we see so many family businesses go forward and move along, they aren't always successful, but they outlast those, what do they call them? Unicorn attempts.
Unicorns. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've got the strength of family within them. And that's very powerful.
I love it. That, from what I understood, is family businesses are worth it, challenging, but definitely rewarding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Agreed.
Ken.
Thank you.